So the second half of the Lent reflections started on the 10th of March with
Holly. And she showed us a brilliant way in which we can, even if we're not artists, can use art as a way to worship and reflect on God and his goodness for us.
And then we had Charles with his challenge to be more like Francis of Assisi, giving to all who ask without worrying about his time, his finances and his abilities.
And Ros gave us a brief potted history of the hot cross bun, which obviously focuses on Good Friday, but she finished by reminding us of the joy of Easter Sunday.
And then we had Tim, who focused on faith liberating us and allowing us to see our future in a totally different way without the shackles of our past.
And then there was you. You talked about the importance of preparation, note-taking, really absorbing things more effectively through being prepared, but that the benefit of that wasn't that just alone. It was in being able to give out more effectively.
And then Rosemary talked about being in a dry valley, passing through it, not getting stuck there. And if you fix your eyes on God and serve him, then his spirit will make that a place of life and of hope.
And then the fourth and final Stephen Green reflection on the poem, which was The Other by R.S. Thomas. And the thing I took from it, I'm going to read it because it's stuck with me since then, was Andy said to Stephen at the end about the solid, unchanging nature of God and how reassuring that is, because we can cast ourselves upon him.
Gosh, yes. And then we had Yvonne, who said that honouring the earth is an act of worship. And she had to emphasise that all the time, birdsong going around her, presumably from the garden.
Which leads on to another type of song. Tom Buckler, he read Psalm 42 in its entirety, which was brilliant. And then he sang his lovely song, Home, Fountain to My Soul.
And then Beverly spoke about fear, particularly in this time. And in John 14, that the Holy Spirit gives us the tools and the instructions to use to achieve peace of mind and heart.
Ali talked about life being an exercise in blessing. Hasn't seen her family for a year after a big party, but has feasted on the memories, but then challenged us to say, don't keep the memories, don't keep the blessings to ourselves, but learn to become a better blessing to other people.
Gosh. And then Caroline again talked about nature, and through photos and paintings, she reminded us that the heavens declare the glory of God and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
And Timmy sang the fantastic old hymn, I Stand Amazed in the Presence. Oh, how marvellous, how wonderful is my Saviour's love for me. 3 Timmys and a Jamie was fantastic.
And then Sarah talked about a childhood poem that she remembers to this day, Mrs. Malone, and that still inspires her faith with its story of love and self-sacrifice.
And Carolyn gave us, she gave us so much in her reflection, but the thing that stuck with me most was her challenging us to shine out with hope, even if we're socially distanced.
Yes, very appropriate. And then Josh gave us an example of how he used centering prayer. So with a picture and with music and breathing techniques. Absolutely fantastic, and something I will continue to use.
And the Beck family took what is probably one of the best known parables of Jesus and brought it to life in a fantastic way. And it made me realise again how powerful Jesus' storytelling is, and that it really packed a punch.
Gosh. And Anne talked about rest and resting in God by following his purposes, receiving his provision, and knowing his presence.
And then Tanya, she shared how nature and colour and emotion and God's creation is such a powerful influence on the way in which she then plays music. That was really evident in the way she played Claire de Lune.
And finally, Caroline focused on humility and the example of the book Living Prayer by Anthony Bloom, and then Bellini's Madonna and the Meadow painting, showing Mary in an attitude of humility.
And that brings us to the end.
And what a diversity of people, of meditations, ways of explaining them, something in there for absolutely everybody.
A big thank you to everybody who's blessed us with their reflections.
Thank you.